What's up, everybody? Super excited about the people I invited. These twins are killing it in the industry. I got to learn about uh, this gentleman from Tai Lopez Inner Circle and other podcasts they've been featured on. And so it's a blessing to have you guys here. Like you guys were saying before start recording, we got to start somewhere. So that's why the mics, but later on, we're going to upgrade and all that good stuff. But I'm sure that the people that are going to check it out, watch these videos, this podcast, are going to get as much value as I got from you guys. So that's how I got to meet you. Now I give you the mic, guys. Introduce yourself and let's kill it.
Absolutely. Adolfo, thank you so much for having us, man. It's really a pleasure. And yeah, like we told you right before we hit the record button, I mean, we've had our podcast for about 5 years, almost 5 years now. And we started off with basic mics, and we didn't have like a studio or anything like that. So, always got to remember that every master was once a disaster, so just keep leveling up and getting better and better. Yeah.
Except Eric's not a master yet.
Not yet. No. Too much work for that to go. Yeah. Yeah. But have you ever interviewed twins?
No, not at all. So
okay.
Here we go.
First time. Yeah. So I guess that what I can kind of share just to start off with your audience is just talk about our story, and I really want to talk about that just because I think if, there's a lot going on in the world right now that, maybe someone has been through this as well too. So I'll take you back 18 years ago. So we were 17 years old, and literally it was 3 days before Christmas, and we got a knock on our door from a California Highway Patrol officer and a chaplain. And, that's not good news at that hour, and we grew up in a very picture perfect life. And our father was a correctional officer at San Quentin State Prison. So he was big on education, work ethic, and just, traditional Latino family we grew up in. Yeah. So 3 days before Christmas, we got a knock on the door, and, I thought I was in a nightmare, and I woke up, and, they had told my mom that he fell asleep behind the wheel and he passed away. So right then and there, our whole life was just kind of turned upside down. And I just remember seeing my mom screaming on the floor, and it was tough. We went through a lot. We were young. We lost our role model, everything. And literally 3 months after that, my mom's mom died due to cancer. So it was a ton of bricks that hit my family. We didn't know how to deal with it. And my mom turned to alcohol, antidepressant pills. So it was almost like we didn't really even know who she was. So, we were very angry, very rebellious. We didn't know how to deal with that type of grief at such a young age. So we just went down our dark path, for like 6-7 years, and got in trouble, turned to alcohol, got into a lot of fights, got arrested, stuff that we weren't really brought up to do, but it was our way to deal with it. And what really turned our life around, Adolfo, was fitness, just like going into the gym, just hitting the weights, just, alleviating stress and anger, seeing our bodies change, just, really conditioning our mindsets as well too. And then after that, we hired some mentors, some big fitness pioneer mentors to learn under them and learn how to just like coach people with training, nutrition, online stuff when it was starting off early. And then we started our first business, Dynamic Duo Training, and we had that for 7-8 years and scaled that to multiple 6 figures and served a lot of people. And now we're just, helping fitness professionals do the same thing, build businesses online and in person. And we've written a couple of books and do speaking engagements. And we have our podcast, the Dynamic Lifestyle Podcast.
Wonderful. Well, that's amazing. I mean, that was
a
total switch. The people that I brought on here, and I always tell them, I decided to do this podcast because I wanna. I heard this saying: every person is a story yet to be told. So thank you for introducing us that way. You, Eric and Chris, you guys are twins, and that's not so common, at least not in my circle. So how did that situation, that that circumstance, play out in your growing up, going from bad to now good, killing it?
Yeah. I mean, that's a good question, man. Not a lot of people ask us about like that twin question like that. I would say, I mean, like growing up, like before our father passed away. So like, growing up all the way till 17 years old, I mean, I wouldn't say like we were like competitive against each other or anything like that. Like we had a kind of a normal relationship. We were like super into sports. I mean, we were little shits. We used to get in trouble a lot and do stuff together like that, So it really wasn't until like we lost our father, man, to where I would say that we're the only ones that we had to lean on each other and pick each other up. You know, like my mom pretty much we lost half of her because of like alcoholism, antidepressants. You know, she just wasn't present. And then our older brother, he was 24 when he lost, you know, his father, our dad. And, you know, he didn't know what to do. He had his own stuff to deal with, you know? So, I mean, we only had each other to rely on, you know? So that's kind of like where we just kind of like, you know, put our backs against the wall and just like, we could only depend on each other. And we knew that if we had each other, we can pretty much get through anything, you know? So that was like a relationship to where that was just built from there, you know, just depending on each other and, you know, picking each other up when we needed to and having each other's backs. And till this day, man, you know, even like where we're at now, which I don't even feel like we've scratched the surface of success yet or anything like that. I feel like we're just getting started, but it's just the same thing. If we have each other, we have our backs, we're on the same page, we're supporting one another. I think we'll be totally fine going forward, you know?
Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah. I mean, I heard someone saying family can only get you so far, but I see you guys are going far. I mean, farther than most people around me. So that's great.
Thank you.
And why fitness? Why not something else? Why was that the gateway?
Yeah, I think it was just at that age of like 17, 18, you know, obviously you're at that age where it's like, you know, you want to, you know, get a nice body and you want to impress like, you know, girls and all that type of stuff, obviously. So he
wanted to get the mamacitas.
You want to get some of the mamacitas, right? But that was one of the, that was one of the reasons.
California, right?
Yeah, raised in California.
There you go.
Yeah. So, you know, wanted to look good for the beach and the summers and stuff. But also it was just, we didn't know how to alleviate our pain, you know, and the iron was like, you know, a big alleviation, you know, just going in there and throwing weights around and just like, you know, letting it all out there in the gym. It was really, really like therapeutic for us, you know, to be able to do that. So I don't know why, you know, I don't see what else we could have done to like really, you know, have that gateway, you know, to got us to where we are today. You know, it was fitness.
Yeah. And I think just to add to that, I mean, it was a lot of things that just like compounded with fitness, right? So it was like obviously the mindset, right? When we used to do a lot of fitness coaching, we used to tell our clients, focus on building a six pack in your mind first before building the six pack on the exterior, because your mindset's going to control everything. And just, you know, develop like sound habits, you know, rituals, a lifestyle of it, and really understand that it's a marathon, not a sprint. So there was a lot of like little things that we noticed that fitness had carryovers to life, and it made us work harder. It made us more confident, made us better speakers. More, we wanted to be on camera more, you know? So that's why I'm so big on fitness too, is because there's so many different carryovers to like life and just work ethic as well too.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Most people forget about this. The gym is the best, what they call, the best
like
therapist, the best
therapist. Or best medicine.
Yeah, absolutely. And so hopefully the people that are going to listen to this, they take action, even at home now that, you know, we're in lockdown and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Most importantly now.
Yeah, wonderful. And how was that transition from coaching? I mean, some people take it, you know, for fun. Others go into influence with YouTube, you know, or you guys decided to go through coaching and start writing books. How did that develop?
Yeah, I would just say, man, like, you know, we've been natural kind of like educators, you know, like even with our students, when we first started off with personal training, we love being around people, you know, so we're very good with like being like around people. We bring good energy, you know, to like circles. And I just think that ever since we started personal training, we just saw like the dynamic that we could have with like clients and change their lives and connect with them, right? So then it's like, okay, why, if we can do this in person, we can do it online as well too. So we did that online, you know, for like 7 years, and then we knew that we were really good at coaching and changing people's lives, and we started to see towards like, you know, year 6, year 7 of like the end of the business, that where we didn't want to do as much fitness. It was turning more into like personal development, more of mindset, more of like lifestyle. Right. And then after that, we're just like, shoot, man, like, you know, like, let's go like, you know, hire like Tai Lopez and be in his mastermind and other people's masterminds and start learning the business concepts, because we built a business already. So it was already there. We just needed to learn more things from other people and just get smarter and get more skill sets. So from there, it just kind of all just started like, you know, compiling all together And I mean, we just love coaching. I love coaching. I love serving people. I love changing them. I love impacting their lives. I love inspiring them. I love like kind of being hard on them and telling them what they need to hear instead of what they want to hear, you know? So
Yeah.
I just love like impacting people, man.
Yeah. And what coaching really is, it's just like, it's a true form of leadership and collaboration. And even to answer your question, what you said about the books, writing 2 books, you know, and I sometimes even forget about that. I mean, we have a copy of our book right here, and it's just like, it's weird. Like once you accomplish that, it's like, okay, what's the next thing now? And sometimes we don't stop and appreciate the success that we have had. But being authors has always been like one of our goals as like, you know, young kids. I mean, we grew up and just like really always like to write a lot. And just even in college, you know, we took like some classes in like, you know, writing to become good writers. So
Okay.
I always was really fascinated and appreciated like authors and like a physical book. And I was like, I'm going to write a book one day. And just, again, growing up in a small town in Sonoma County, California, and just, you know, being, you know, Latinos,
Yeah.
it's like, you don't really see that happen. Like,
Not
you
at
know,
all.
people writing books. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this come true and hopefully impact and inspire other people going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are an example. Absolutely. That's wonderful. And where do you see what's the next step? What's the next goal? Writing another book or taking things to the next level?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we just moved to Dallas, Texas 2 months ago. So that was a big move from California, because California is getting really bad over there because of the pandemic. But you know, just really establish ourselves here. I mean, we have a really big home that we got. We just built out a studio here for our podcast to do more high production videos. Obviously, you want to keep enhancing our business that's called the Dynamic FitPros, where we're helping fitness professionals build online businesses. And then I don't know, maybe start like a mastermind of ours. But for now, no more books. You know, those take a lot out of you. It's a lot of work.
A lot of work.
300 pages take a lot of energy.
It's a lot of work. Yeah.
I can imagine. Let's talk about your business. Do you guys want to give us a sneak peek of it?
Yeah. So like our business, I mean, you know, it's got 2 levels of the business. So like level 1 is like for any personal trainers that's looking to like start the online like side of their business. And the major outcomes with that is to get their first 2 to 5 online clients, you know, build their whole foundation of an online business and make an extra 1 to 2K per month with online coaching. And then level 2 is more of kind of like a year-long program where it teaches them how to get to 6 figures as a fitness professional in their business. So we're working on like, you know, lead generation, marketing, sales, like the systems, the automation, delegation. I mean, all these different things within the business so that it can come together and get them to 6 figures, you know? So that's what our business is. It's called Dynamic FitPros. And, you know, we've been at it for 3 years now, and we've like served over like, you know, close to 500 FitPros now, you know, which is awesome. You know, I want to serve more. So that's the goal, you know, for like the next like 3 to 5 years, just keep serving FitPros and helping them out and making our business model better and better and just helping them.
Wonderful. Yeah, so I see, for what I saw in Mentor Box and Tai Lopez's podcast thing, you guys, what you guys brought on applies to every business.
Yeah.
I know you guys focus on fitness, wonderful. But what would you say is the first step for any business owner? Like myself, starting a marketing agency, one of the hardest things has been getting my first client. What would you say to someone else in the same situation?
Yeah, I'll give you my recommendation on that. And it's a really just like simple acronym that you can just you know, even for the listeners to just like take action on. It's AMO. So AMO, right? So always you want to always first understand who's your audience, right? That you're trying to go and serve. And, you know, it's like really just narrow down, who is this audience I want to serve with my product, with my service, with whatever it is that you're trying to do. Then the M stands for messaging, which is very important, right? Because that's where you're able to, you know, demonstrate your voice and show like your frameworks as to how you sit there and change people's lives with your product or your service-based business, and how you get them from A to Z and really impact their life, right? So be very clear on, you know, who's the messaging, who are the people that you're looking for. And then the O is for your offer. Understand and be clear on like, what is your offer? What's your packages? Like, what does it entail of? Like, are you stacking the value to really, really exceed what it is? So I like that acronym just for anyone that's just going into, you know, starting their business.
Yeah. And I would say too, just to add to that, before you get into all these like business concepts of like, you know, lead acquisition, lead capture, like all these things, like you got to work on yourself. Like you got to work on this first. And so many people try to start a business, but they don't work on this. And it's like that tiny little voice right here that's telling you like, oh, you're an imposter, you're going to fail, you can't get started, like you don't have enough money, time, the economy's bad, oh, your family's going to laugh at you and stuff like that, right?
Comparison syndrome.
It's all false limiting beliefs in your head. And if you don't deal with those things, you're never going to sit there and break past like yourself and be able to like, grow your business and impact others. So that's what I tell everybody. You can start a business, but if you're not working on yourself and kind of like, learning how to deal with those false beliefs, because they don't go away. Like we deal with them still. They don't go away, but you learn how to control them and manage them and like tell them like, hey, shut up. I'm still going to go. You know what I mean? So you gotta work on those things before you get like going on your business.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the best form of lead generation is attracting people by your personality.
Yeah.
That's what I've realized. People come at you when they know you're a good person, you're genuinely trying to help, and you offer value. Again, going back to the offer.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's why personal branding is so huge. I always tell people, no matter what, always work on your personal brand, because that's irreplaceable. Everyone's going to always want to do business with you personally. And if you're always, just consistent with that and just, being authentic and having good intentions behind your messages, your services, whatever business it is, then your personal brand is going to live on.
Yeah. And that's why I recommend like people, tell your story more and just do like an exercise where it's like you start doing like a story bank where you're literally gathering all the stories that you have that you feel like are really important. They could help people out and relate with them, and just start getting them out there, whether it's through social media, through it's, written, like, a blog or something like that, whether it's through like a podcast, just get it out there and you'll see people will start like, finding your voice and resonating with you and being curious as to like what you do and how you can help them out.
Wonderful. How did you guys start with your personal brand? Was it podcasting or Instagram or something else?
I would say it was just through fitness. Like I said, we worked with some really good like high pioneer fitness professionals, and luckily we had a nice little break where they took us under their wing and they kind of like put our name out there to go help people. And we always wrote for a lot of like bodybuilding magazines for free to get our name out there because social media wasn't so big. But yeah, and then once social media kind of came out, that's when we started just doubling down on that, I would say.
Yeah, we also hired, I don't know if you know who Mark Lack is. So he's like the king of like personal branding. And we did a coaching day with him, man. And like, that's where, we accelerated that learning curve of, a lot of people want to sit there and go through all these like YouTube videos and these free resources, but we literally went straight to the source, and said, we want to work with the person that's like one of the top like branding experts. So he taught us a lot of different things on how to kind of brand ourselves and how to, get the perception the way you want, position yourself as an authority, so that really helped out a lot too.
Yeah. I think Graciosi says, rich people buy speed, they pay
speed.
for speed.
Exactly.
And, being Hispanics, I see a lot, people, for example, you got to wash the car, go do it yourself instead of paying someone else, maybe 10, 15, 20 bucks, and that helps a lot. That's a good advice. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
I'll give you guys a mic. I don't think I have any more questions. If you guys want to share a little bit more about your story. I love when people share their stories because they resonate a lot.
Yeah, I think just kind of like my closing like statement to your audience is just, I always tell my FitPros, even live a life worth telling a story about, right? So I truly believe that all of us are the narrators of our own story and the authors of our own story, right? Like life is like a big book that we're all writing. So, some chapters might be good, some chapters might be bad, and that's okay. That's part of the process, right? So always be in control of just writing your own book and just, what step you want to take next to get to the next level that, if you get knocked down, get back up. It's not a big deal. And just keep writing that book, keep going through that and telling that story.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I would just say too, like anybody that just wants to get started, on anything, don't sit there and wait till tomorrow, like instead of saying kind of like, what if, say, even if, right? So a lot of people will say like, well, what if the pandemic like keeps going on? Well, what if things like continue to be shut down? What if the economy's bad? You got to reframe your mindset to like, even if like things are shut down, even if the economy's bad, even if like X, Y, Z, right? You got to sit there and just get started and keep going, even though things are happening right now. So that's my best advice. And don't waste any time. Just keep going and get started.
Wonderful. I feel like we opened it up and we closed it in the best way we can. So thank you. I just want to say thank you for your time. I know you guys are doing a lot of things and it's wonderful. thank you for taking on this podcast and, you know, helping me out, growing at one step at a time. Where can people find you? Where can they learn more about your business and your books, etc.?
Yeah, once again, Adolfo, thanks so much for having us, man. Really appreciate that. And hopefully we gave value to the listeners. Instagram is probably the best place at Chris and Eric Martinez. We post a lot of content there. And then check out our podcast, the Dynamic Lifestyle Podcast, a lot of good stuff there. And then if you're a fitness professional, like, you know, looking to go online or build a business, check out our website, dynamicfitpros.com, and a lot of good resources there.
Wonderful. Yeah, we're going to put them down in the description and, you know, get them to you your way.
Awesome.
So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Adolfo. Appreciate it, man.
Hopefully we have you here in Miami and we'll get to connect, or, you know, in the future, have you on this one again with a better setting.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No. When we go to Miami, we're going to reach out to you.
Wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, you guys, you have a great day. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, man.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Bye.